Welcome, trainers, to another Pokemon Go battle. I know, 2 in 1 week. Isn't that crazy? Especially since my previous one was Mirror Cup, and I'm pretty sure it was Rainbow Cup before that. But, in all seriousness, I actually finished a Sinister Cup yesterday, and I got some good clips. So I felt it'd be actually worth showcasing a couple of the battles that I had. So this battle that I'm going to show you today is from the Lil Cup Server, and my opponent is TJ. And let me start off by saying TJ is a phenomenal battler. He really knows what he's doing, and in all honesty, he might have washed me the previous couple cups that we have had. So I felt it was actually a good battle, and I really wanted to showcase it to you guys. So I want to start off by showing our teams. Mine is on the bottom, and I used Poliwrath, Driftbloom, Dusclops, Steelix, Cresselia, and Medicham. And TJ's team is Dusclops, Poliwrath, Gardevoir, Alolan Marowak, Driftbloom, and Steelix. So the two biggest things that I noticed is that Gardevoir looks like it's really strong against my team, especially as a lead. And his team looks like it's actually pretty weak to Poliwrath. So my strategy here is to lead Dusclops, just in case he does decide to lead with the Gardevoir, and it's got good matchups against the rest of his team, and then having Poliwrath in the back, just to close out the game. So let's see how it actually plays out. I lead Dusclops, and he leads Steelix. And if you've done any practicing, you know that this is actually not a terrible matchup for Dusclops. Don't quote me on any of this because I don't know everything, scenario for scenario, but I think maybe even Dusclops beats Steelix. So what I decided to do is trade a shield, and I think that might have given me a little bit of an advantage because he might think that I'm willing to sacrifice the Dusclops because I have other ghost coverage in the back, potentially. So I'm just going to keep hitting him with fire punches, and I'm going to trade one shield, I think, in this matchup. Yes, I'm going to shield here, just because I know that I have enough time to make it to one more fire punch. And if he decides to shield it, that's good for me because I can start charging up for a Hydro Pump with Poliwrath. And if he doesn't charge it, then I'm going to have switch advantage on him. So he opts to trade both of his shields for Steelix, and in comes the Poliwrath. I don't have to fear an Earthquake because he didn't get enough fast attacks in and able to make up to an Earthquake. So we know that it's going to be a Crunch, which is actually not terrible because I was able to farm up a little bit of energy on Steelix. So in comes the Dusclops, and I'm thinking to myself, this is perfect because he's just going to hit me with a Shadow Punch, and I'm pretty sure that Poliwrath would live even if I didn't trade the shield and decided to take both hits. So I do hit him with the Hydro Pump, which doesn't finish him off. But I figured at this point it'd be worth shielding because I'd be able to farm up enough energy on Dusclops to get to another Hydro Pump. So whatever's in the back will also have to take an unnecessary Hydro Pump, and Steelix would definitely be able to close it out. But unfortunately for TJ, it was Marowak, so this is definitely going to knock out the Marowak. So we got lucky. I think Dusclops' lead was a good choice. He didn't leave Gardevoir, and I don't always do this, but if I felt that my team 1 was pretty strong, then occasionally I'll just go in with the same team for game 2. So that's what I decided to do, and I went with the same lineup. And let's see how TJ adjusts. Probably should have clipped this down a little bit. So Dusclops, Steelix. Okay. So that makes me believe that he probably brought the same lineup. At least that's what I'm thinking first. So, Fire Punch. Crunch. I think he got a little bit of extra farm up because I think he would have gotten to the Crunch before I would have gotten to the Fire Punch. So he's farming up a little bit here to switch out, I think. Because he knows that he can take one more Fire Punch. So he's going to use Steelix as his closer. Or he's just going to let it die. And I decide to shield. Because I know Dusclops is also pretty good against the rest of his team. So he keeps his Steelix and he switches into his own Dusclops. And I just barely get a Shadow Punch off on him. So I'm glad I was able to get that. But this Dusclops was able to get a little bit of farm off of me. Now here's debatably where I made a mistake. I could have went for the Poliwrath and just went for a Hydro Pump. Or went for a Hydro Pump and baited for a power-up punch. Especially because I'm down shields right now. And I know that Steelix is in the back, possibly with a Earthquake. So actually that Steelix is in the back is kind of a problem because he can come in and as soon as the shields are down, take out, well, my Steelix at this point and pretty much knock out my Poliwrath. So I feel like I made a mistake there. But at the same time, he had 2 shields, and my only option with Poliwrath really was to go up for a Hydro Pump and try to bait him. Which isn't like the greatest option, especially because he's got 2 shields, because if I go for a bait and he doesn't shield, then I pretty much just lost the game because of that. So, you know, when in the moment, you always make those you have to make those quick decisions. And see, right here, I felt like if I did go with the Poliwrath option, then I was going to have Steelix in the back for Gardevoir. But it still didn't matter because all he really had to do was bait my last shield, and he could have brought in Steelix and finished the game. So as Gardevoir was able to farm up a little bit of energy on my Steelix, and a power-up punch wouldn't have taken him out. Maybe if I hit a power-up punch and I was able to hit a bubble or 2. So TJ took the second game, and the third game, I decided to switch it up a little bit. And I don't usually do this, but since it's against TJ and I knew that I needed a little bit of extra something on my side, I decided to go with the Drift Bloom lead because it is very RNG based. Because if you hit the boost, you're in a very good position. So we both lead with Drift Bloom. But before I show this portion of the battle, I do want to say that I did have CMP, so that puts me at a very advantageous situation here, especially because I get the chance to get my charge move off first, and he's got to decide if he wants to waste his shield or not, and I also could potentially get my boost before him. So we go with the first charge attack, and I get no boost. So right here in the battle, I'm actually like, please, please, please do not get the boost. Because if he got a boost here, I knew there's no way I was going to win. So no boost. And here, he undertapped so good. And this is why I'm saying TJ, see, I have CMP and he undertapped. So then I hit him with an ominous win. But I got the boost. So that's very unfortunate, especially because we both had to trade our shields to keep our Drift Bloom alive. So I get to walk away with my Drift Bloom with the boost at about 35%, I would say. And he's got no shields. So I just decided to go up for a Shadow Ball. And with the boost, a Drift Bloom's going to easily hit like 70% on this Steelix. Oh, even more than that. Like, is that, yeah, about like 75% probably. So, as you can see, that boost pretty much won me the game. Because I have two guys in the back. His whatever it is that he's going to bring in against Steelix is, this Steelix is going to put too much damage on his last guy, so no matter what I have for the closer is going to clinch it for me. I actually make a mistake here as well. He brings in Dusclops, and for some reason I thought that Ghost typing was weak to ground. And I think what it was is I was thinking of Gen 1 and how Gengar also has the subtyping of Poison, so it's got that weakness to ground. And I just think that Ghost types are weak to ground. It probably would have been better if I would have just hit 2 crunches on him. But it didn't matter. The game was over after the boost had hit. So that was a very unfortunate end, but I thought that the battles overall were actually pretty decent. And I was actually happy that I finally got to beat TJ for once. So here we're going to come in with the last crunch. I'm pretty sure it knocks it out. Yep. And then the last little bit of HP from the Steelix. So thank you, TJ. That was a great battle. It was a lot of fun. I think that was my first time beating TJ in a tournament as well. Thank you, everybody, for watching yet another one of my Sinister Cup battles. I will have more for you guys in the future, so please, if you're watching this video, subscribe to my channel. Check out my Discord. Go follow me on Twitter. I'll follow you back. I love reading PvP news or anything that's going on in the PvP community. It's really interesting to me. I think that's it. So until next time, trainers, I'll see you in the arena.